Yabba dabba doo.
Yabba dabba doo. Test. It's the show. Show about the show. Hello. How's this?
Like 1 more minute to try to find the splitter. If not, we're just gonna have to not.
Gotcha. All right. That's a good question. No. I did, however, I found mine recently. I lost it for a little while, and I found a splitter. I can't use it because all my headphones are broken. I only have one. I'm okay either way.
Try it.
Test. Hello. It's the show. The show about the show. The show. It's a show for you about the show.
You can just wear them if you want.
All right. I'll probably keep them off if test. I'll probably just keep them off then. It's well, I guess I can. Oh, you mean just to have them on to kind of like replicate the look? You mean?
You don't have to.
You know? Yeah, sure. If you wear them, then I'll have them on just to.
Well, I won't have it plugged in.
Okay, yeah. Then it's not gonna. no one can know the secret.
Okay, we're rolling.
We're rolling. All right. Well, welcome back to the show, everybody.
Yabba dabba doo.
Yabba dabba doo.
Let me just make sure it's. Okay, can you go sit over there?
Yeah. It's a really long wire.
There we go. C-A-S-T.
That's good.
All right, let's hit it.
All right.
Were you sitting here?
Was I sitting there?
I don't know how you were sitting.
Yeah, it was kind of like where you can feel the incline just barely.
Okay, well then come back over here.
Okay, just make sure.
Like I'll be like right here.
Okay. Should I line up the same way? Feeling like right there?
Nope. It's okay. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. All right, everyone.
But so they were already. So we have to remember context, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So
And
they have already seen that we already tried to do a fake intro and then we walked. So
And then we watch. Should we keep that in? I guess we should. Yeah, we'll keep
it's
it in.
in.
Yeah. Well, we're not doing the show how we usually do it. It's at your house.
Welcome home.
Yeah. We're in your house. It's like when in those movies where what's that movie where it's like it's coming from inside the house? It's like that. Do you know what movie I'm talking about? It's like a horror movie where it's like it's coming from inside the house and then
Like The Monster House?
Maybe that's what that's from. I don't know. But there's like some weird thing where like someone's on a call and it's like it's coming from inside the house. And then yeah.
So go ahead and get that microphone closer to your face.
Let's see.
I know you can't. You cannot hear the feedback.
Yeah, no, well, don't tell them that. There's now they don't. Now they know.
Yeah, your whole life is a lie.
Yeah, it is a whole lie. We couldn't find the splitter, so I'm just wearing these. I feel like I'll take them off now. It's like, it's a grand reveal of the joke.
Okay.
We got the joke there. Now I can actually hear too a little bit better. I didn't realize how muted that can make me if I can't hear.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Does it feel like I'm yelling, or am I too quiet for you to hear in real life?
No, you're just right there. That's a good volume. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Did I like quiet down after I took the headphones off? Like, was I yelling? Now I'm wondering.
No, but we can move on to the show. I think we're good.
Okay.
So for all of you that can see on Jesse's screen, I don't know what it's gonna turn out like in the episode, but if you can see the heart over there. I made that with my hands, so I don't want to have to make you do edits, but depending on how it sets up in the screen, they'll see it or they won't see it.
Yeah, if so, maybe we can just like put like a beating heart over there.
Yeah, but then you have to you have to do an edit.
I would, but that's okay. That shouldn't take too long. Like, I just grab a quick photo and just throw it in there and have a little heart.
I mean, when is this episode going to come out? Like a month from now, or how long is it going to take you to put that heart in there?
Hopefully not long. I hope I just paste it in there and just put it up. The other edit didn't take too. Did we ever do any edits? I guess we didn't. I did have to take out segments before, like the Joe Rogan thing that had to come out. There were some moments where like it just like nothing happened because like it's like there was a big technical malfunction, so I had to crop out those, but it shouldn't take too long. I hope not.
Yeah, well, you guys maybe it'll be June by the time you see this, but we did it. Yeah, I mean, dude, come on, we have to do the in-person podcast at least once a month.
I agree. I feel like it's not the same over the internet. It's just not. It's not the same.
It's not the Segoy.
It's not the Segoy. It's definitely not.
Yeah, and as long as we don't have to spend then an extra day doing all the edits, we can definitely do this. I mean, this is so easy to set up. One thing about these cameras, the dummy batteries like started making them glitch out and a bunch of stuff.
No.
So we're on battery power right now. So just a warning, it might cut out at any second.
It'll be a short episode.
Probably
that's
about
okay.
25 minutes though. I mean, minimum 25.
Minimum 25. All right, that's good. At least we got a little bit of we'll call it the introduction to the in-person podcast. Like what they can expect. It's kind of like it reminds me of the Not Your Cousins podcast going back in person. I was looking at like the statistics for it. So I guess the app that we were using for the audio version of the podcast, Anchor, got bought out by Spotify. And I checked it because it just turned into Spotify Podcasters or something, some weird name like that. And I was like, what? I had never downloaded this. And I clicked on it, and it basically was the Anchor screen. And people are still, they're listening to our podcast.
How many people?
I think over the past month, there was like 8 people who just found it. I
think one of them was me.
One of them might have been. Still, who are the other 7?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Somebody listened. It wasn't you.
Somebody did. No, it wasn't me.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll go onto the YouTube and I'll see, you guys could go to the Not Your Cousins podcast. Could I say link in the description or?
Yeah, it'll be there. It's there every single time I put it. Just because I figure you never know. Like if people want more stuff or a different type of show, then you can go check it out.
Yeah. So I do think we'll do a freestyle at some point.
Okay.
Are you down for that?
I'm down for that. Yeah, I don't like.
You don't have
I can't
headphones.
hear.
You don't have the
I
headphones.
can't hear.
Come on, man. So, come on. Where could it be? I mean, unless somebody took it, I don't know where it would be.
It
I
would
gotta.
be kind of funny if if they didn't know that the headphones weren't plugged in, and I just went along with it.
And
Like if
you
you
were
didn't
horrible.
remember, and I just get the headphones on and I just decided to go right in.
Yeah, if you were bad. Where's I need my water. Okay, I'm gonna my water. Splitter for the freestyle. I mean, or we could just play it super quiet.
We could that would work too. We might risk a little bit of feedback, but
It's considerably worse. If you don't have the headphones.
yeah. But I mean, I guess there's always next time too. I know for a fact that now that I know where my splitter is, no matter what, next time I can always bring mine over and plug that in.
Well, I just sent one in the mail too, a different one.
Huh.
Yeah, to Christoph. So, yeah, man. I mean, what's been going on today?
I just got it back from Arizona. I
Could you
flew
hand me
in.
that?
Oh yeah, the water.
Yeah, that was just, it didn't work out well. I didn't complete my goal.
Yeah, I flew in, and sometimes planes are kind of weird. They're sometimes like I think the flight back was pretty normal, but the flight going to Arizona was like something else, something out of this world. Like there was like weird things going on all the time. I can't describe it. It was like chaos where like people were like doing different activities on the plane. Like a guy was doing his taxes. It looked like he was, or maybe it was some business document, but it had like numbers on it and looked really confidential. And he like had these out, and the guy next to him was like sitting, and he was like looking, and like he didn't. Yeah, I think he was like trying not to look out of politeness. And even I was thinking like I shouldn't be looking at these papers. Like who knows what kind of information. I was like sitting to the side of him, kind of like back, like he was there, I was here. I was looking at him and I was like, I shouldn't be looking at these numbers. But I was like, why is he doing his taxes? Who does something that confidential on a public plane like this?
Mhm.
And the other guy just kind of is sitting there going, like just kind of like trying not to look, but his eyes keep like glancing at the paper. And this guy's just sitting there like doing this thing. And I just...
And that was out of this world for somebody to be filling out a document on a plane?
Well, he's like doing his taxes. Like he has numbers on it and it looks like it probably has like...
Dude, no one's doing their taxes on paper. On an airplane.
That's what I thought too, but he had like it was a big document and it was like maybe just some business numbers. I don't know, but he was just filling out business forms or something. But this had like numbers on it. It was like in a full expense report. It looked like it had like confidential like information on it. Like I could know a company, I could know a whole like set of details about a company, and if I glanced at those papers and I was like, oh, that's what kind of profit they're making. I'm selling.
They're not. But by the way, they're not doing taxes on paper. So
I don't think so. No.
But you really think that's out of this world for somebody to do business on a plane?
Well, for someone to be like looking at the numbers of like the company and like here's all the confidential stuff about the company. And
did he tell you it was confidential?
Well, I mean, maybe it's not, but it just looked so confidential. It looked like, and he looked like he was kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. He looked nervous when he was doing it. He looked like he was kind of like, yeah, and then the other guy didn't want to look.
That's such projection. Okay, but what else?
And then
what else is on the plane?
Then there was one guy who, so it was just chaotic because sometimes the seatbelt thing would go, it turned off, and then it would go bling, and then it would turn off, and then it went bling. It was like in Squid Games when everyone was like running to the thing, and then if it looks at you, you have to pause. That's like what was happening with the seatbelt, and this guy stands up, it goes bling, and he runs up the aisle on the plane, and I couldn't believe it.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I mean that just is normal life. So
yeah, I guess so. I just like there was someone next to me who was sitting there, and I think they were watching something because like they knew the person next to them, and I think they were watching something on a tablet. and the other person wasn't watching at first, but then they started watching, and I couldn't tell if they were laughing or if they were like, because they'd go.
They would move without making any sound.
Yeah, but it was like the movement of like if someone was like laughing, but there was no sound coming from this person next to me. So it was just like, and, and sometimes it was just so chaotic.
Damn, dude.
It was strange.
Are you sure you just didn't have a what did you call it? Psychotic? Didn't you? Are you sure your brain just wasn't, off?
Maybe I can't imagine that I would have imagined all this stuff happening, but you never know. Maybe there was something with like the air pressure, and I just started hallucinating all these characters coming out of nowhere.
I mean, are you hallucinating characters at other times?
I don't think so. The
You're
flight
not?
back was very normal. It was a very
Okay,
normal flight.
but I'm not talking about just on planes. I'm talking about at the store, in class, at other times.
I guess I wouldn't know.
I've heard stories like this where you're, just a normal person sounds like
from me.
yeah, like from a cartoon.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know if I could be, or maybe I'm just interpreting it that way. But I'm telling you, like the guy, that's exactly what happened. Like the seatbelt would go on, and it went off, and it's like it couldn't make up its mind, and then it finally turned off. The guy stood up, and then it went ding, and the guy just ran. He just ran up the aisle.
Okay, so but okay, so you think that this was real life and
Yes.
that you don't have an altered state of consciousness.
No, I saw it right in front of me. The guy was like trying to figure out like, if he could go to the bathroom. He stood up and he was like, okay, it stayed off, and he was like ready to walk, and then it turned on, and I think he was just like, I'm just going for it. I've had to go the past 20 minutes, and he just went for it.
Yeah.
It was like normal. It's not like it was like abnormal. Like it's not like it was like this crazy thing that happened. I just thought it was funny because like for some reason the seatbelt thing was like not staying off, and then the guy doing his like business forms, and the one guy kind of like shifting his eyes kind of like at the guy's paper, and then the person like twitching, like I think laughing just at a show next to me. It was just all the different things happening, and I just thought it was so interesting.
Yeah, I think that exists in your mind, and I don't know if you liked it or didn't. It sounds like you didn't like it.
I thought it was funny. Like I think I thought it was funny. The person next to me who kept like jolting,
Mhm.
like it kind of like sometimes would scare me because I'd be like,
Yeah.
like I wouldn't know what was happening. I thought they were like convulsing, and then I'd look over and they were just staring at an iPad that the
Yeah.
other person was watching. And
I
was like,
did one time have somebody on a plane like start convulsing, and
whoa.
yeah, there had to be like a doctor on board, and this person was in a middle seat, and they were like freaking out, and like people thought they were having a heart attack or that they died on the plane.
Jeez.
But they survived. They
Did
ended
you guys
up
have to do like an emergency landing?
no,
sort of
but
thing, or?
we were close to landing, but they actually pulled the guy out into the aisle and laid him down. Yeah. I mean, when you're on an airplane, there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody might try to rob you on a plane. You can't run away.
Yeah, you'd hope that everyone else on board would kind of, like the thief can't go anywhere. You think everyone at that point would be like, hey, like, give this guy's stuff back. Like,
Yeah. I mean, you would hope, and that's the reason why it probably doesn't happen very much.
Yeah. Unless like, can you imagine the situation where like some guy like everyone sees it and some guy like just like beats this guy up and like takes like the business forms. Imagine like that guy's precious business forms. The guy next to him just is shifting looks and just like punches him and grabs it and runs to the back of the plane and just sits down and won't budge. And like everyone's just like, yeah. I don't want to mess with that. Just let him.
I think that's what the air marshals are for.
That's true. Yeah, I'm sure there would be some guy who would. Air marshal would come over and be like, give him his business. His business forms back.
Man, I'm so sad about this splitter situation.
Yeah, sometimes I guess that just happens. It's just not meant to be this time.
Yeah.
Next time though, we'll do it next time. Do you got the same retainer? And as before, is it the same? Any new modifications or same?
Well, did I tell you? I told you about the metal thing, right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, so you got that now?
Did I not tell you when I got it?
No, I remember you saying that you were going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the next step, but I never heard that you when you officially got it.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's been like 2.5 weeks, but yeah, I got it in there. Uh, so they put the rubber bands in for the spacing, and then they put them. Now they put like this thing in where it's like around my farthest back tooth. There's like a metal ring around it, right? Skip a tooth, then the next tooth has a ring around it, and right after that ring, there's a metal bar,
Mm.
and that is happening. Ring, space, ring, metal bar. That's happening on both sides. And then from this bar to this bar, it goes across on the inside of my front teeth. And on the inside of my front teeth, there's basically like braces on the inside to keep them all together.
Okay, yeah.
So there's these bars pushing, and then it goes across like this, braces, and then the whole thing, there's a thing you can twist to push it forward.
Okay, interesting. So it's basically I think I remember you telling me about that. It's like the thing that that you that expands the teeth, except instead of expanding it, it's pushing your teeth forward
Yeah.
instead.
Mm-hmm. So
Ah,
it's actually moved like 1 millimeter already.
that's quite a bit.
Yeah,
In
I
just the
mean
span of like when did you get this?
two
You
2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks. That's insane.
Yeah. So if it was maybe like I'd say like if it was like 7 or 8 millimeters, you could fit a whole nother tooth in that gap.
Yeah,
So it's yeah, it's moving quick.
that's insane. Does like I remember wearing the one that expands your upper jaw, and I remember that was super painful. Like I remember like just like ice cream would sometimes help. Like it was cold water because it was like it just was it
Hmm.
really hurt because you twist it every single time it
Yeah.
moved. Have you noticed that at all? Is that
They're not having me twist anything. So they'll do like I'll go into her office. She'll when they put it in, she tightened it. Barely. I barely felt any pressure. I mean, it subtly hurts. Um, but then 4 weeks later, I would go in and she'll go twist it a couple more times.
interesting? So
Hmm.
it wasn't like I guess I remember I had to do it at home,
Yeah, no, it's just
but
it's different in that way.
uh
Hmm.
maybe they have a better system.
No, it's just because of it's a different type of thing.
You're not expanding; it's pushing, yeah, forward.
Yeah, I mean it's called anterior guidance, anterior growth guidance appliance.
Dang, that's a
Um,
mouthful. That's
yeah,
no pun intended.
they
That's
call it
like
AGGA,
AGGA.
anterior growth guidance appliance. Anterior, do you know what that means?
Just like inside your mouth, right? I'm assuming like the interior, the
No,
inside.
anterior,
Oh, and
ANTIEROR, IOR.
anterior.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
It's that you know how interior is like inside, like the
Hmm.
interior. Anterior is the opposite outside.
That's the exterior.
Exterior. It's anterior with an
Yeah.
an.
Hmm.
I can't believe I've never heard of. I don't think I've
Okay.
heard of that
There's
one.
an anterior and then there's a posterior.
Okay. Okay.
Have you heard of posterior before? Like
I
someone's
don't think
ass?
so. Like someone's ass.
Like some people say, that, oh, that's a nice posterior.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Posterior. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
opposite of posterior, which is the back side, anterior front side.
Ah, I see. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Then.
Anterior growth meaning to become larger, growing larger to the front.
Yeah. I mean, like that can mean like getting fatter. I don't know if someone goes in for like an
Anterior,
enlargement. Yeah.
yeah, they would say anterior reduction surgery
Interior
if
ah,
if you were trying to,
slim down.
yeah, just cut it off. Mhm. anterior growth, boom, guidance, appliance.
But my question then is like, so I get it, like the anterior, like technically they're talking about the front of your mouth, right? So like anterior makes sense. It's like towards the front, right?
It's growing to the anterior.
Ah, so if they needed to do the opposite, then they'd call it a posterior.
The posterior what?
They're like a posterior, movement backwards. So if they had
It would be to the posterior direction, but if you had a posterior growth appliance, that would be something that like grew something on the back of your head.
Okay, so then, yeah. So my question, I guess, is like, then it's pretty obvious that it has to be like an anterior appliance, or else they can't just be like having things shoot in the back of people's heads, right? So it's kind of like it's got to be anterior. There's no.
But you can have a lateral growth appliance, and that's the kind of expander that you had. Lateral meaning to the sides.
So that's the difference. They have like lateral, and then they have an anterior one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I might if it was me, I might think like we gotta simplify this. It's like it's the forward.
It's medical terms, dude. People, they're doctors.
True. I mean, there might be a reason for it. True.
And like the inside part of your teeth, lingual.
Lingual.
It's not called inside.
It's not called inside. It's the lingual. That's
yeah.
What, see, if I was the doctor, I'd just be like, it's inside.
What, inside the tooth itself? Inside the gaps between your teeth,
I'd be like, behind teeth.
Yeah, you'd be a bad dentist.
Inside back. I guess maybe at one point someone would just be explaining a long time later. It's the inside back teeth in the forward section of the teeth. I guess at a certain point. I guess those.
You need to be able to read it and know exactly what it means every time.
So the anterior one though, I'm thinking like forward is pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. It's like you're going forward. It's weird. That's what we're doing.
Anterior, posterior. You can also be called ventral.
Ventral.
The front side of your body. Dorsal, back side of your body.
See.
You heard of a dorsal fin before?
Yeah, I've heard of a dorsal fin. It makes
backside fin.
See, that makes sense, but I feel like what if I was a doctor and someone was like, "Oh, you gotta get him on his dorsal." Get him on his dorsal.
You would say, get him to lie supine.
Get him to lie supine. But then what if I had to mention the dorsal? It's like, what are we doing today? Dorsal side? And what if the doctor, like, I don't know, he's just looking for, like, a dorsal fin or something. And,
then he was not educated, and you should not be a doctor.
No, he used to be a veterinarian. And he went to go work at this hospital, and he's like, you can't be doing this.
They don't let people jump from animals to people without getting way more schooling.
What if he did what he went to school, but he's having like flashbacks.
He would know what dorsal. He would know dorsal if he was a veterinarian because dolphins have dorsal fins.
Yeah, but he's like having flashbacks. Like he's like you can't do this to me, Jim. I just I was working as a vet 5 years ago. And now, when you're saying dorsal to me, my brain's... I'm thinking this guy's a dolphin. I don't know.
Dude, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about.
I'm not claiming that. Okay, I'm not claiming this isn't real. There's definitely not. There's definitely not a doctor who used to be a veterinarian who's looking for somebody's dorsal fin. It's not, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I'm just playing the. I don't even know. It's not even the devil's advocate. It's just like some imaginary land where, some person has a dorsal fin. I guess where humans could theoretically have them.
But you're just trying to come up with a reason why that's bad, to use that terminology, right?
Yeah, that's the reason that, I wonder what situations could come from that from that word applying to the backside. What scenarios could come up? But I mean it's very unlikely. I would hope it doesn't happen. I would be concerned if my doctor was like, "We're looking at your dorsal fin today." If they told me that, I'd probably get a new doctor. That's a bit concerning.
Do you want to know another interesting fact about dorsal?
Yeah, yeah. Well, what else?
So, like on your feet,
Yeah.
this is the dorsal side of your foot, even though it's on the top or the front.
You know, if you think about it, I don't know if the cameras can see, but like that.
Your foot looks like a dolphin.
Yeah, your foot kind of looks like a dolphin, and if you think about it, like I guess I can use my hand as like an example, but if a dolphin swimming, technically you'd be like, that's the top of the dolphin. It's actually the back of the dolphin.
Oh,
So it's like that's why the dorsal fin is back there. I guess.
that's the back of the dolphin, even though it's the top.
Yeah, even though it's the top. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
If you think about
spatial
it too,
awareness.
like,
Yeah.
like what if someone like if someone's saying like the front of you, like what if the front of you isn't facing to the front? What if the front of you is facing back? Still, I guess technically we have a definition for like this is the front of my body, this is the back of my body,
Mm-hmm.
but at some point someone could just be like, hey, no, it's the back.
You lost me on that one.
I don't even know.
Okay. Any more useful terminology? Cranial.
I've heard that one before. Yeah, cranial.
Top. Caudal. Lower.
I think those I recognize. Those I do recognize.
Encephalad.
That I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that one is.
Encephalad.
Is that like the very top
The
of your
top.
head? Is that okay.
Just higher up.
Higher up? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
I always wondered like caudal. It's like I don't know. I didn't know. I'm just making this up on the spot. I was just thinking. Imagine like someone's like caudal, like someone's screaming at like the hospital and like a doctor. It's like no. Sorry, I was thinking about cuddling. Sorry. And person gets fired.
So we also have distal and proximal. Distal, proximal.
Okay, I have not heard those.
So further from the trunk or closer to the trunk? Distal, further from. Proximal. Also proximal. Right? So like if we have like our bicep right here, if you were trying to explain a region of the body, you could say distal to the bicep. So, boom. Distal to bicep. Proximal to bicep? Encephalad to bicep.
Huh. Do they call arms trunks?
This is the trunk.
This is the trunk.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Like the
Your
trunk
torso.
of a tree is
the
that
torso, yeah.
Okay, all right. Huh. Like I want to know like did the person who like thought of it like was like
They were drunk, yeah.
okay, I was wondering, yeah, cuz like I was wondering if they were like in the woods and they were like trunk. This is the trunk.
It was people in the 1700s.
Okay.
And they would pick up random dead people off the street and cut them open, and then they would, that's how anatomy got studied.
I'm curious now. Like, I want to know like know the exact guy that one day was like going around town like during the plague.
Well, Benjamin Franklin was one of them.
Was Trunk already established when he was in the field, or did someone?
Well, okay, but I don't know who it was. One of the founding fathers who lived in England had a bunch of dead bodies at his house. You never know what the shit you hear on the internet, right? But I don't remember who it was. Thomas Jefferson or Benjamin, one of these guys, founding fathers, he had a garden at this house he lived at in England, and it was like a tourists would come to the house and somebody like bought it to like refurbish it. They were cleaning it out. Underneath his garden was this like windowless room with thousands of human dead bodies in it.
Man,
We should
Thomas Jefferson too. He like did he keep? See, I don't know this, but did he keep that estate when he after the Revolution? Because I know a lot of those guys were very wealthy people from England. So did they like lose their estates, or did they keep them? Because that implies that Thomas Jefferson had to get a new body collection after the Revolution here, because he was be stuck in America, right? They might not let him go back to England. He probably had to make a new collection.
Yeah, no, he definitely did.
They gotta like, I don't know where.
It was Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, Benjamin Franklin. Okay. All right.
Okay. Blah,
I don't
blah.
think he was ever president, but
No, just one of the. He was near the beginning of the founding of the country, right?
yeah.
Blah blah blah. Repairs on Franklin's old London house turned up 1,200 pieces of bone from at least 15 people.
Damn.
Nearly 2 decades leading up to the signing of the Declaration of Independence, Benjamin Franklin lived in London in a house, blah, 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 blah. He left his home in 1776. More than 200 years later, the bones were found. There was a giant pit under his garden. Just filled with human bones. I guess he was just studying, Or he killed them all.
Or he was a murderer. He might have been Jack the Ripper. Well, no, Jack the Ripper would have been way. When was Jack the Ripper?
I don't know.
Anyways, if that lines up where like, if those timelines line up, I'm calling it. He's Jack the Ripper. He murdered people. Oh. I don't think I can pull this any closer. I think this is kind of. Let's see if I can. I just don't want this to tip. I think that's good, right? Does that sound okay?
Yeah, we just go like this.
Okay, that's good. That's good. But I think that's I'm gonna say that he's a murderer. I think he killed people, and I think I don't know.
He killed whoever actually discovered the electricity.
That's a good point. And you know what? I don't know if he was allowed back in England, so he had to find a new collection. He probably was killing people over there, and then he was like, I can't go back to England now. I've just got to start killing people here too. And so I bet you there's dead bodies in England and in the U.S., just random bodies that he just took them out.
There are definitely dead bodies in England and the United States.
But what percent were committed by Benjamin Franklin and his desire to call people's bodies trunks? It could have even been him. It could have even been him being like, oh, yeah, look at this trunk here. It's just like he thought he was like an axe. He was an axe man or something. He was an axe murderer. That's how the name came about. It was because Benjamin Franklin was going around town with his axe, thinking he was like a lumberjack, just like taking out the trees. That's how much of a psychopath he was.
You're doing it again.
I'm not saying that's like I don't have a first-hand account for this in this case. But for all I know, he was going around and he was axing people.
Yeah, man. Benjamin. I was Benjamin Franklin for, I think it was in 3rd grade or something. I dressed up for him, as him, Ben.
If only you knew back then what Ben was
I
doing.
would have done it sooner.
Yeah, you'd have to. You'd have to. I mean, that would arguably be the most scariest thing on Halloween then.
Yeah.
Dressing up as Ben Franklin. I mean, like, what is he hiding? What does he have in his house?
Yeah, really, it was a good Halloween costume. I just didn't realize until now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got I'm enrolled in in the internet chemistry class at the University of New England.
Nice.
Do you know,
how's that going?
Do you know where New England is?
I do. That's over on the East Coast.
That's a big region.
It's like above New York, right? I'm thinking
Yeah,
of the
what
right
state?
state, right?
What state?
It's the state.
There's no state called New England.
Oh yeah, that it is in a. What state is it in? It's one of the East Coast states. I remember that
Well,
much.
I mean, it's not Florida. That's an East Coast state.
Yeah, no, not Florida. It's above New York. It's one of the states above New York.
It's not North or South Carolina.
No, no. Above New York's.
It's not Pennsylvania.
It's not
It's
Vermont.
not New
It's not
Jersey.
all the way up in the
it's
north.
not.
It's
It's not Vermont. It's not New Hampshire.
no, no.
It's not Maine. It's not Connecticut.
Yeah, I
Da 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 da
da
da da da da.
da.
No. I'm doing the syllables.
Oh, you are. Oh, da 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 da. Is that's the syllables? That's
It's.
the syllables. Okay.
Da da da. It's.
Da na na. It's
Mm-hmm.
na da na na. It's. It's.
Two. Tits.
Attitude. Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Why is that so hard to say? Why am I having trouble with that word?
Well,
Massachusetts.
And I've also heard it Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. I wonder how that name came about.
Yeah, but anyway, so I was
Massachusetts.
talking about my chemistry, right?
Yeah.
So I'm taking New England University, University of New England, which is not even a place, but there's the New England Patriots from Massachusetts. So I'm taking that class, and I've also been admitted into Washington State University online.
Yeah.
So I'm going to enroll into that online school.
Nice. What
Chinese.
What's your overall degree that you're going for or certificate?
Chinese? Yeah.
Chinese?
Yeah.
Nice. I heard that you do have to if you want your bachelor's in Chinese, you have to take chemistry too. It's
Yeah.
really important. You have to do that.
Yeah. You also have to take business.
Oh, you do?
Hmm.
Well, what is the? I'm curious now. What's the?
And takeout. Yeah, for takeout orders.
Oh, takeout. Okay, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
it's just in case you decided to open up your own restaurant, you got the business side, chemistry side for flavors.
For your children to get them ahead.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Do they teach
Sure,
it?
well, that's easy.
Well,
Remember?
I remember that from the Not Your Cousins podcast.
Sure, well, that's easy.
Doesn't that mean that means go fuck yourself, right? Isn't that what that means? Isn't that
Something like that, yeah.
something like that? Okay, yeah. I remember it was some swear word. It was some it was some word that was.
Yeah, shout out you gang.
I remember he's the guy who taught it to you, right?
Yeah.
He taught yeah.
He was Chinese, man. He was a bundle of joy and energy. So yeah, I'm enrolling in this school, learning Chinese, and it's great, man.
Nice. That's good.
Mhm. Yep. And I graduate from school in 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Dang. That's a short period of time. You're almost in the clear.
Yep. I'm in a clinical class right now. I'm in pathology class. And I'm in kinesiology too.
Dang.
And I'm also in business class.
Business class too.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's good.
I'm getting in part of the Chinese degree. I'm getting the business out of the way through my massage therapy program. There, the credits transfer.
Oh, they do. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are you finished with the massage therapy program?
No, that's the 3 months left.
That's the 3 months left.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're taking those classes, and then you're also taking at the same time the classes at WSU,
Mhm.
and then also the classes at New England University.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. That's quite a load.
University of New England. The Wazoo doesn't start until May,
Okay.
and the UNE, University of New England, will be done around May as well. So
That's still quite a class load though, because you're doing the you're still doing the massage therapy program, and then you're also taking chemistry at New England University.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of stuff. Damn.
Yeah, I have 4 days of class, and then I have 2 days where I work in the student clinic. So Monday
Dang.
through Thursday in class, Friday, Saturday in the clinic.
That's a crazy schedule. That's a lot of stuff. Damn. And I was thinking, I was like panicking during finals because an extra essay popped up, and I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like, who's signing these?
Yeah, I mean, it's all relative. As you know, Albert Einstein said.
I wonder if he killed anybody now. I'm honestly questioning everyone. Like, we need to be digging up, like, not like destroying like historical sites. I'm not saying that, but like if there's like a garden, maybe we should take a look. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Albert. I mean, dude, so how do we even make sense of this man, Albert? How do we make sense of this? He was this man, right? How are we gonna make sense of this? Albert Einstein.
Yeah,
He was the guy, right? And he lived in this time, and there was like, this is what we think is happening. And he's just this guy, like, oh, I'm gonna work at this place, and I just fill out these forms. And my imagination linked up with how the world functions, and then they made atomic bombs, dude.
yeah. And then he helped make that. He did. He said he regretted it later. But it's kind of at that point I feel like it's too late. You know, like you can say
Yeah,
like
but
I wish I didn't make that, but then
but the
it's
thing
like,
is, he was just a guy, and he had these ideas that nobody else had.
yeah.
I mean, so like, there's more of those people that are gonna show up at some point, right?
Yeah, I think so. There's probably a lot of like probably undiscovered Albert Einsteins out there. There's probably a lot of really smart people who I don't know end up doing.
But was he smart?
I guess you'd kind of have to be, I suppose, right? Because he did a lot. He like I can't remember all of the things that he discovered, but he discovered some things. I think you'd probably have to be smart, right, to like discover something that nobody else has discovered before. You'd have to have some brains on you. You know, you'd have to be able to, or just be really good at whatever you're doing, I suppose. But
I just don't know, because I feel like, I don't know if it makes you smart or it makes you dumb, or I don't know what it really means to be smart. I mean, clearly he could do these equations and all this stuff, but like, he wasn't like successful in his career up until the point where he like actually changed people's lives. But like, people just thought he was fucking around.
yeah, I mean, I guess like again, I don't even know like I mainly know that he made some discoveries at some point, and then he invented the atomic bomb.
It's so much funnier when you have headphones on.
Well, I'm sure it's amplified for you.
Anyway,
for me,
yeah.
I'm far away. If you don't notice, like, well, they wouldn't know, but it's
Yeah.
like these are like positioned across the room, this chair and the couch he's on. So, oh, he's still going.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. They're surviving.
Let me just see if they're recording.
Hopefully, they're good. Nice.
Maybe about 10 more minutes.
All right.
You
But no,
just,
like
yeah.
I know he was like he discovered some stuff, and then I know that he discovered the nuclear bomb, and I guess he kind of helped.
Well,
us create
Oppenheimer, I
nuclear
think
energy,
Oppenheimer
but-
did the most of that, but I think the atomic bomb. But no, obviously he discovered a lot of stuff. General relativity,
Yeah, that's right.
special relativity, I think, is also a thing. I don't know that much about it, but I'm just like, all right, all the people before him didn't have this understanding, and then it took a long time for like people to assimilate that information, right, and build industries around it. And just, how does somebody go about mm, building a life around creating the opportunity for having these types of discoveries.
Yeah, I would assume that he must have I mean his the stuff he discovered was based off of what other people discovered too. You know, it's not like he just like did all the foundation work himself and was just like I just like I everything has all been discovered by me in this field. So I don't know. I feel like you'd have to you'd have to be knowledgeable though. You'd have to have you'd have to be a smart person. I feel like somewhat. I mean,
You'd have to have a base knowledge. You mean you don't have to be smart to have. Um,
yeah, but you'd have to be maybe smart necessarily isn't the word, but I suppose you'd have to just be really good like in the fields that you're working in, right? So that when you look at all the stuff that's already been discovered, to discover something else, you'd have to like have all that stuff down
Most of it,
to
not all of
build.
it.
Yeah, I feel like that would be impossible if someone just knew everything. But you'd have to be really good at what you're doing. You'd really have to be have a solid background in that field to be able to advance it. That's just me guessing too. But like maybe the guy just walked into the room and was like, "This just all makes sense to me." Maybe that's like the movie version of what people I think geniuses are like. They think they like walk into the room and they see the chalkboard and they're like, I get all of that in one instance, and then they
Mm-hmm.
just start writing down the brilliant formulas and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I assume he'd have to he'd have to do some
I mean, he
background
went
work.
to an intense amount of school before he ended up just working at a patent office. But I don't know if he was doing it intentionally or what the deal was. He I know his wife helped him. His wife was smart too. I don't know. It'd be cool to discover something new. But then it's like how are you developing the physical and structural things in your life in order to support making risks, having the opportunity that you're going to be wrong about things. How do you build your life around that so you can have a stable life and deve- uh, bring in some new cool stuff?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a pretty difficult question. I would say that if I was gonna invent anything, I wouldn't want to discover the atom bomb.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that'd be kind of a bummer, Even if you didn't you didn't know and you were like, oh, I'm just doing some work, and the government approaches you and you're like, oh yeah, what is it? All right, sure. Let me just put all this together, and you're like, all right, I've made this thing. Don't use it. Just maybe we can do something else with it. Maybe it'll turn into something else. Don't use this. Then when they use it, then it's kind of like, well, it's kind of a bummer. Then you'd be
Yeah,
like,
well, I
oh,
mean,
jeez.
you never know what people are gonna do with what you create, but you know, no one's gonna make that same exact discovery again.
No,
So you
no.
never know, dude. I mean, what's the other option? Just leave it for somebody else to discover, or not and discover it and not tell people about it because it might be dangerous. I mean, it depends on what you find out.
I mean, they would have definitely discovered it at some point. Like even during World War II, the Nazis were they were studying the nuclear weapons and the Russians and the U.S. took a bunch of scientists from that country because they wanted the information. So it definitely would have happened eventually, and you don't want it's bad overall anybody having it, but you don't want a bunch of Nazis to have nuclear weapons.
Mm,
That would be really bad. Um, and then the next bad thing is just any country having those weapons is that's it's not good. But it would have been discovered definitely. But being the guy who did it, I think you'd probably have a few nights I think I'd have a few nights where I'd be like, fuck, some blood's on my hands right now. I gotta Oh man.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, what's happening now with, because we can talk to anybody anywhere at any time, that like if there is any like major sort of thing like that, we're gonna like watch it. It's gonna be like streamed to our phones, and it'll have like people know that we know, like the people of authority know we know that kind of stuff, or we will know about that kind of stuff. So it kind of changed the landscape of what you can get away with. Before, people just lived here, and like there could be propaganda about other countries, and I mean, even if they don't believe it, they don't have anything else to believe about it, right? So it's like, oh yeah, we can just fucking fuck Russia, and then they could do this boom, boom, boom explosions or whatever, and we're like, oh yay, like we're not gonna get invaded. Now it's like, oh shit, like people are filming this stuff, and we can see it, and so like for somebody to drop a nuke now, it'd be just crazy.
It would be. Yeah, that
Riots in
would
the
be pretty
street,
insane.
dude. People would be going crazy.
They would be. Yeah. I'm surprised that back. I mean, I'm sure there was some discontent. I
I mean,
I'd
obviously
have to
people
look
don't
into
like
it,
it
but
either, but it's real. It's way more real.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they back then I'm surprised that there wasn't again there probably was like some amount of like what would you call it, like unrest
Hmm.
when they dropped the bombs on Japan. I would assume there was some, but I'm surprised that like I remember when studying World War II, I don't remember ever hearing about like mass like just upheaval back in the U.S. Maybe it's because it was kind of like the war kind of thing where people were like, "Oh yeah, like, end that, get it
Yeah, I
out of
mean,
here."
because
Like,
Hitler was just kind of scaring the shit out of people.
yeah, yeah, it
Dude,
might have been the war
people we know were
exhaustion.
alive during that.
What's that?
People we know were alive during that.
Yeah, yeah. During that time, it's crazy.
World War II. We know them.
Yeah, yeah.
The 1940s. So who do you know from the 1940s?
My grandmother actually, on my dad's side,
And remind me again, what country is she from?
she's from Germany. And just by the way, like
She was born there.
she was born there. Yeah, yeah. She was like a child, so like she wasn't like a part of any of the weird stuff going on. Like the bad stuff.
Is that what she
Wasn't.
tells you?
I mean, I'd assume like unless like she was like 3 years old, even according to her age.
I
So
mean, she
she'd
would
have to
never
be like
tell you.
she never would. I
She
mean,
would never tell you.
she would never tell me. Honestly, a 3-year-old could have some. I don't know. There could have been some 3-year-olds going around.
Well, she wasn't 3, was she?
She was. She was about 3 years old. Yeah, she's
Through all of the 1940s?
no, but I think when like the war broke out, she was probably around 3.
Oh, maybe she was 7 near the end of it then.
She might have been, yeah, and I guess a 7-year-old. No, I didn't think about this.
Well,
But a
she could have. I
7-year-old,
mean,
that's
depending on who her parents were, she could have had, been brainwashed a little bit, just, from where she was from. And I'm not sure all Nazis or all Germans are on the same page about this.
there was some. So yeah, this is just the story that I heard from my grandmother. But my her dad was arrested because he was talking some shit at the tavern about the Nazi party at the time, and his brother got drafted. I know that much. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. His brother got drafted, but he got arrested because he was talking some shit at the tavern, and he'd like to drink a bit, so he'd go on like the political rant about how much he hated it. And so they beat him up and they dragged him to the doorstep of the house, because if you talk shit, there were like spies. People would like report you and would
Talk
say,
shit, get hit.
yeah, yeah. So he would talk shit, and then one of the people listening in the tavern, who was probably a Nazi supporter, reported on him, or out of fear. I don't know, probably a supporter. And yeah, they beat him up and they arrested him. And I know, yeah, his brother got drafted, and I think he died. He was a mechanic. He was a mechanic in the war, but the mechanic, whatever he was working, I don't know, got bombed or something like that later, so he died. Yeah, and that's kind of just that's all I know.
Sounds
That's
like
pretty much the
sounds
story.
like it could be easily just a made up story.
It
But
could-
I mean,
that's just what I've been told. That you could,
Hey.
yeah. I'm not saying
yeah, I mean they exist. Those people. Yeah, the 1940s, man.
1940s. Funny enough, and ironically, she married my grandfather, who at the time during that war was on a Navy ship.
Mm.
And he
For
wasn't
what
a part
country?
of like U.S.
Mm.
And he wasn't a part of like the whole like D-Day thing or anything like that. I think he was in the military later on in the war. I think the war with the Japanese was still going on. It was just ending with Germany. And he was in the Pacific. But I don't know to what extent he was involved. But I know he served a long while after, and he ended up stationed in Germany after World War II ended, and that's how he met my grandmother.
Mm.
And then she was like, "I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like this is like."
But I mean,
crazy
how old
shit.
was she at that point?
I
12?
can't- No, not 12. This was a long. So this was like not right after the war. This was like
14?
because she
15?
worked in Germany first. So she was doing reception work after the war. Because that's when the Allies came in, right? And so, on the west side, there were a lot of like businesses that were trying to open back up. So she ended up doing reception work because she was in high school, I think. Yeah, she went through high school after the war, and I think I don't know if she went to college actually, but I know she started working at first, and to try to make money, and she worked for a while. And eventually, yeah, I don't know what time period she met my grandfather, but at some point he ended up stationed in Germany, and that's how they met. But I don't know the time period. I honestly don't.
You guys heard it first. He doesn't know the time period.
I don't
And,
know the time period. Wait, maybe was she already in the? I actually don't know. I can't remember. That's got to be way louder. That's got to be loud levels. That's got to.
Yeah, it's in there. But anyway, so we don't want to run out of tape or anything.
Yeah, no, we don't.
And you got to drive home. So, skibbity doop bop, the boot up. Boo.
Skippity doop. That's the show, everybody.